Welcome back. We are about to get into round 18. We are going to see a repeat matchup. Don't think repeat on stream, but a repeat in the tournament. Alec Sjoholm, Dennis Ikekeregor. No introduction needed. We've seen them before, and we are a little bit behind, so we are going to get right into it. Alec in first, Dennis in second. Players that are not Dennis but are near the top are actually rooting for Alec here. It might be easier for them to sneak into second place with a runaway from Alec.
That's a great point, yeah, and I'm very excited how the tournament progresses going forward. Yes, it looks like Alec, the players are ready.
Yes, Alec probably in the best spot to make the finals right now. Still could go wrong. Dennis in second place. Every win counts. He has a lot of people on his tail. Dennis being one of the best Scrabble players from Nigeria, but he has recently moved to the United States. Alec Sjoholm from the Seattle area, a little bit north in a town called Linwood. Alec Sjoholm's dad, Chris, an organizer in the Scrabble community, likes to run Scrabble tournaments at the church that they attend in Linwood. Very nice guy.
Wow, and we didn't see a rack on this one, but Alec is coming down very quickly with quota here.
I don't see Alec's rack. Where did did he put the other two tiles on the table or something? Alec has put quota down.
Maybe. I mean, this looks like a great play to me. Not sure what he left, but you score 48 points.
Yeah, it's hard to quibble with this unless he kept an H or something, but I doubt Alec would miss something like quota, so we will just assume quota is a word. Dennis with Hebe. A hebe is a type of a shrub that belongs to a specific genus. I believe it's hard to quibble with this one as well.
Yeah, this looks like his best equity play.
I guess the only thing to discuss is over or under, and instead of talking about numbers, we're talking about over or under quota.
That's a great point. Yeah, do you see any merits to maybe putting this on top instead of below? Is one option maybe more defensive than the other?
I don't think it makes a huge difference this time. Ho and O both taking front and back, S's and M's. I think it's a bit of a wash. I think it's best to just get one of them down. Alec is going to have a couple of interesting choices. He can actually play woohoo.
Oh, that's fun. Not the easiest to spot. You don't usually think of OH being something you can play through like that, but I like that choice.
OWO is another option. Not sure where that's going to go. Maybe he's thinking about playing it with OHO. I worry that that's not quite enough points. We've received confirmation that Alec had OW with quota. It seems like quota would be an obvious choice there. Another option I like actually is Woon. Woon plays underneath Hebe for, I think, 20 points. Do you like Woon, Elise?
Yeah, I think Woon also plays with Hebe taking the back N. So that's another kind of fun option. I wasn't sure of that hook, but you could play it vertically. Yeah, getting rid of the W and the two O's.
One of the tricky things about interjections in Scrabble, or at least things that we think are interjections, is that a lot of them are nouns, meaning a cry of it, and a lot of them are even verbs, such as a te hoa. They can mean a verb meaning basically to say it. Woohoo is a true interjection in the sense that it doesn't take an S, but it's hard to keep those in order. Alec playing woo to prioritize a slightly more of a core nucleus.
Yeah, I think this makes a good bit of sense.
Dennis struggling a little bit inundated with A's.
He's going to waste no time putting down cod to get rid of most of them, keeping AS, which I like. Dennis, we've seen, is just such a fast player. He really doesn't waste any time and is really great at spotting things quickly.
Yeah, I believe there's a school of thought in Nigeria that the faster you go, the more your opponents will struggle to find something. I think a lot of the top Nigerian players get taught that when they are young, and they kind of stick with that idea throughout their Scrabble career, and it's worked out pretty well. We're going to see Alec maybe get into a little bit of time trouble.
Mm-hmm. Except Alec is coming back with Wex, which scores 59 points. It's really great to get that X doubled twice. I think this is an excellent option.
Definitely, Alec is probably relieved to have a pretty easy choice with how fast Dennis is playing. Dennis has one of those not quite bingo racks. Elise, do you like something like Odia and Wex? There's just not quite a lot of choices for scoring here.
Yeah, that looks pretty solid to me. Yeah. He's deciding to hook Wex the other way, putting the E on the end. I'm not sure. I think maybe playing this vertically would be a little bit better. You pick up a few more points, but he's getting rid of the tiles that you want to get rid of in this case.
Yeah, I think Dennis is trying to set up the D with Wext. I like the idea. I wonder, are there too many hooks that Alec could have? We see Alec with a D and an S if he wants to go there. But hard to argue with the idea. He does get another bingo lane in case Alec uses the hooks with Hebe for Heben or Hebes.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, Alec is going to be able to use that hook. He's got a really nice play for 46 points, which he has lined up here, that goes right underneath Wex.
Alec in one of those spots where maybe he's got two divergent paths. He can prioritize scoring with Sodic. He could also prioritize keeping a bingo lead with something like Cud and Wext. I think there's a lot of arguments in favor of both. What do you think, Elise?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, you see 46 points on the table and you just want to take it, but IONS as a leave is really pretty good, and this board does have a lot of S hooks and a lot of space. So I would definitely be agonizing over which way I want this game to go.
Yeah, it would be hard for me to pass up 28 points with Cud, especially when I'm keeping two of the hooks that appear the two best hooks on this board, but 46 is so many points. Also very hard to argue with this. I think as long as you do one of these two, you're in good shape.
Yeah, and the engine agrees. Those two plays sim within a point of each other. So it really is just maybe a question of style more than anything.
Yeah, I'm sure if we drilled deep into it, there would be a favorite, but that is beyond us as humans. Alec, putting down Sodic, probably most important to just make up your mind, especially against such a fast player.
Yeah, and Dennis drew into a bingo here. He has quite a few options. How would you be deciding between your different choices here, Matt? He's got Snailed and Denials. They play in a lot of spots.
Yeah, I like the idea of Snailed probably. I look for the highest scoring option first, and then I play it unless there's something glaringly wrong with it. Snailed making it pretty difficult to get a 7-letter word down, the S only taking I, O, and T. Dennis might be worried because he will still be behind after the bingo. He's doing denials to give himself a little bit more of a bingo lane for next turn as he needs something to come back.
Yeah, that makes sense. I do like the way that this shapes the board if you're coming from behind.
Alec with one standout option, a bit of a tricky thing to spot and maybe a little bit of a tricky word to know. I wonder if the 3 letters on the left of his rack are him spelling it out. Dennis might be changing his mind to snailed. I think this is really nice. Scores a few more points. You have to assume the board will somehow open some way, so I kind of like taking the points here.
Yeah, me too. It scores, I think, 4 more points than denials. But he's going to go back and...
Is going. And yeah, in case you haven't found it in the chat, Alec's standout option is non-quota. We will see that in a second, but he is challenging probably Hebben. It is a word. I believe it is a type of wood. It's a type of ebony, so a darker colored.
An alternate spelling of, ebony.
It does take an S. Elise, as a lover of German, are you scared to put an S on things that end in EN, thinking that they are German plurals?
Oh, yeah, and Haben is a German word, too. So there would be extra confusion here.
Is Haben a plural of something like Habe?
No, it's a verb. But it could, I think, take an S in German, too. So there's an extra layer of complication here.
Germans love to put an S on words like baby, even though they end in consonant Y.
Mm-hmm. And he does find non-quota. This is excellent. What a cool extension.
Yeah, let's see. He is drawing tiles. It looks like Dennis knows the word and is not holding. A nice way to preserve 5 spread points.
Yeah, good board knowledge on Dennis's part.
Dennis with the word I see first is Beza or Baze. I don't know if they play in amazing spots, but playing with the D in denials might be the only choice.
Yeah, he also has a cool word through the L. I don't think it's the best play, but he could play Albizia, which is a type of tropical tree. So that might be cool to see.
Albizia might be a nice choice at this score because it opens things up. Dennis is a bit behind. He's doing Baze despite the fact that it opens the triple. This is a very courageous play. I don't hate the idea of kind of going for broke here. We're going to see Alec actually maybe not have the best options alongside it.
Yeah, it's gutsy, but I like it at this score. And yeah, you just kind of have to hope that your opponent isn't going to have the ammo to come back. And in this case, Alec is stuck with 2 U's and some clunky stuff.
Yeah, I don't think Alec is going to have incredible options. Are you thinking something like Zerf, setting up your S on the triple, or are you thinking something more defensive like Surfed? I think there's an argument in favor of both.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I would maybe go for the more defensive option here. Just not letting yourself, get hit. But I see the justification for playing Zerf too. I mean, you have the S. It's a nice setup.
Yeah, for sure. Surfed is a very logical choice here, using up the obvious scoring spot and doing so in a way that doesn't even take an S. That said, Zerf with the Z and Baze does function as an S setup for Alec. I think that might make the difference for me, and I would be okay with maybe being a little bit more volatile since I have the S myself.
Mm-hmm. See, do you think he has something else lined up here? He's got FRID on the front of his rack. I'm trying to see if maybe he's thinking about fired.
Spelling out fried, trying to keep the S. Not sure if this is the right idea because while it keeps the S, it scores a little bit less and it keeps the dreaded UU. but it is probably a similar option to something like surfed.
Yeah, and Macondo actually puts it up ahead of surfed a little bit, so maybe keeping the S is more valuable than worrying about unduplicating your vowels.
For sure. I do think Zerf might be a bit of a standout option here. The S setup bringing it over the top, but it is hard to quibble. Fried does follow a lot of the rules that make something a good play. It scores well, it keeps the S, and it blocks the biggest spot. Very logical choice.
And Dennis is going to put down ZD, which is a little bit aggressive, but is a nice way to get rid of those two I's.
I think it is hard to quibble with this. Sometimes setting up the S you don't have is the best you can do at a score like this. I think that is Dennis's idea. It's also the only realistic way to undouble the I's while scoring.
Absolutely. And while Alec has the S, he doesn't have a lot of great options that hook that onto ZDs, or at least not that I'm seeing immediately.
Yeah, the only way to maybe get the triple used is something pretty not fun, like ASP. I'm wondering if we're going to see something like Pulus and ZDs just to kind of cover that spot.
Yeah, he also could play a really nice play of Lapful from the LA, which maybe partially obstructs the spot, but also opens some potential to play vertically through that L. Seems like we have a hold going on. I wonder what's going on here.
Yeah, I feel like ZD is a pretty normal word, but we all have those brain farts. We know the videos where people are challenging things like asteroid because they pronounce it as a steroid. It can happen
Yeah,
to the rest of us.
I've definitely had moments in a Scrabble game where something looks completely weird on the board and then it's actually just a completely normal word. I'm just kind of reading it incorrectly in my head.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure which direction I would be going with. I'm definitely worried with two unseen blanks about leaving ZDs open. That might be an argument in favor of something like Hulu's. That said, it does use up my S and it doesn't score great. Sim likes something like FUD, giving myself a shot at a future nicer play with ZD.
Wow, that's a hard play to pull the trigger on, though. It seems so modest. I don't know. But I think yeah, I can see why it would crush the sim here.
Yeah, I think this is a good time to talk about relative leave value. ALPSU may be a little bit uninspiring, but with the state of this board, it goes up a lot in value because the times you draw bingo, for instance, it plays with ZDs. The time you draw the H, you can get something like push and ZDs. So ends up with a lot of great options.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You always want to be thinking about leave, but leave on your specific board that you're playing on. More generalized leave values aren't always going to be the most accurate.
Yeah, they really should only be used as a starting point. There's a lot more that goes into how good tiles are than just the leave value. Alec now putting a FAP on the board. I think this is the highest scoring play that maintains an S. I would be a little bit worried about the two U's, however.
Yeah, I agree.
Perhaps he could also play flap to score a little bit better and maybe give himself a better shot at some sort of bailout.
True. But he's going to put FAP down and yeah, just keep the scoring pressure on.
Yeah, UULS still waits for this to go right. Don't think he's drawn anything phenomenal here. He might be stuck playing something like Ulu's next turn if he is scared of the ZD's spot, and I would be myself with 2 blanks unseen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dennis, looking like his options are pretty uninspiring. I can't see a lot of great choices. What do you see, Elise?
Yeah, I mean, I see something like Guy in the bottom left, just taking that triple, but that feels very uninspiring. I mean, it keeps VAUO. So
Yeah,
maybe something, yeah, like Viga or Vagi, just trying to offload a little bit more of the clunk.
yeah, Guy, super uninspiring, keeping AOVU. It might be hard to tell. It is his highest scoring play, and other than Ahi, it is his highest scoring play by a pretty significant margin. Dennis going with an interesting choice of hoving. The idea here is to set up another S hook, thinking that the ZD's one is going to disappear soon. I like this idea. What do you think, Elise?
Yeah, this is really creative. I really like this too. You definitely want to have 2 S hooks open, especially if you don't have the S right now and you might draw into it a turn later. So this is just a great way to, yeah, make more chances here.
Yeah, I like the idea here. Now, if you were Alec, what would you think about something like Ulus and ZDs? I think it is pretty clearly the most defensive option if you are worried about a big bingo from Dennis, but there's also ways to just play Ulu and keep your S for the future.
Yeah, I'd maybe want to keep my S this turn. I mean, Dennis is going to draw 5 tiles here, so he might be, drawing deep into the bag and getting one of the blanks, but at the same time, I don't know, using your S just to play Ulus for not that many points feels very sad.
It is. It does feel very sad, and I think there's always a strong argument in favor of something like this. But Ulu is a really nice choice because it leaves the S hook for Alec in a way that won't be quite enough for Dennis to come back, but it will still be enough for Alec to get a nice score. We could see something like Rusk, if nothing else, on his next turn, for instance.
Yeah, and wow, well, this
Oh
play
my
looks like
God,
it kind of blocked the
Gluteus.
spot. He actually, yeah, has something that still hits ZDs.
Yeah, Alec managing to actually set up Dennis's bingo instead of blocking it. That is a pretty bad beat when you slot a U like that, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, what are the odds? I mean, you don't expect that to happen, but wow.
This is going to be clearly the best play. The second highest scoring bingo is only 69, which, although nice, is not the 90 points that Gluteus is going to score. Alec with Yonkers, which is not just a town in New York, a city actually. It is a playable bingo with Hebens.
Oh, yeah, it fits there. That's very nice. I guess, does Alec have anything if Dennis plays something like Tegule, parallel to Denials?
I am not sure. I don't think so. I think Yonkers, which is another spelling of younger, I believe, is not quite going to fit. So Dennis with a nice play, gonna be better off this time, but still a pretty big opportunity with Gluteus that was not realized.
Yeah, it's kind of fascinating that maybe by making a slight mistake here and playing your lower scoring bingo, you're actually blocking Alec from playing his bingo. So it's going to work out for him.
Yeah, this one's going to work out really nicely for Dennis. If I'm in Alex's shoes, I see words like YOK quickly because they leave a good leave, and this time it is going to play. Though Dennis has not committed it yet. Now he has.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so YOK just in the the bottom left, are you thinking?
I think it's hard to quibble with that. It is 38 points, which is a lot, and it is ENRS as your leave with a nice S hook sitting there. I would be pretty satisfied with something like that.
Yeah, that looks good to me too. I think you're pretty likely to hit something with ERNS, especially now that the board is pretty open with a lot of floaters.
For sure. There are the floaters. There is a lane if you can get something ending in ES, and there is a front S hook on hoving. So there's a lot of life in the ENRS leave. I like this idea. Dennis drawing the J. Probably a welcome sight, as there is a pretty good way to use it on this board.
Yeah, if you can spot the sometimes tricky two-letter word, at least for me, of HM, he can play jimp parallel to hoving, and that scores 41 points.
Yeah, that is going to be a nice way to use the J. Always a welcome sight. It might block Alec's best bingo of Stonern, although Alec will surely find something with his rack.
Yeah, does he have anything through that U? It's kind of a hard spot to hit.
I don't know, but what he has spelled out is sterning. I like this idea. Stern is also a verb. It has to do with the stern of a ship. It does not just mean kind of staring at someone menacingly. All of Alec's best options score 68 points, so it's going to be more about keeping the board tighter after the bingo. Elise, do you think there's an argument in favor of trying to obstruct Abba's?
Ooh, yeah, there could be. I mean, he's gonna be, yeah, taking a lead after this bingo, and so ideally you'd want to choose the bingo that kind of gums up the board a little bit more and maybe blocks the most dangerous lane.
Yeah, it's one of those spots where, hey, if I'm looking at the lead I'm about to take, I'm starting to think, hey, how is Dennis going to come back after this? With one unseen S, it does kind of feel like going to the right of FAP, forming something like FE and ABBAs is one of the more realistic ways to do it. That said, not sure if one actually exists with Alec's rack. I don't think he can actually get anything good through the U, so it might not be possible.
Yeah, I'm looking and I'm not really seeing anything here.
Dennis will be in a pretty tough spot after this. He will be behind and he will have to kind of go for broke on a board whose spots are going to be disappearing kind of rapidly.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be an uphill battle for him after Alec puts down his bingo.
Yeah, Alec with a lot of time left, I would say, for this stage in the game. He's done a good job at trying to keep some time for the end game, despite how fast Dennis is. He's given himself the ability to think a little bit here, which is important.
Yeah, you want that precious time in the end game.
Another interesting choice is something like tenoners or centeners through the E in Tegule. It has the advantage of obstructing the T, which is a sneaky place that is a pretty big threat.
Yeah, that's a great point.
I might have preferred something there. That said, Sterning, another solid choice, 68 points, hard to disagree with.
And yeah, what do you do now as Dennis? Do you want to play longer here? Play shorter? How are you thinking about pacing going into this end game?
It's going to be really tough. I would look for high scoring plays. Amazingly, I don't know if there are any. There's no good place to put something like Meave or E-move down. if there was a higher scoring option, we can see that Dennis may actually have a bailout if Alec has 7 consonants. Not that unlikely with the pool. We see Alec with 6 consonants and a pretty unworkable set. I might not hate something like even, hoping I draw Muse later. That said, I don't know if that is quite enough. Dennis probably thinking about bingos first and foremost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think even is a good option here. I guess E
Yeah.
move to FAP would be his highest scoring option, but I'm not sure if I like that.
Yeah, another thing here is the board could be dying quickly. Is it easier to obstruct the area created by Eve, or is it easier to leave it alone? If Dennis had ignored that spot, Alec's only blocking play may have actually been EEN for 4. That may have been the only way to block bingos, so another thing to think about. But I like the idea of Eve here.
Yeah, this looks nice.
Alec might be in a spot where there are no good ways to completely block it. And he's facing a pretty tough pool. Elise, what do you think about something like ERN with the E in Tegule? It might obstruct the board just enough to kind of get up in his biz and make it hard to really get something down. Maybe it's ERR because that doesn't take an E. Do you like something like ERR? It's only 4 points.
That's a really clever idea. Yeah, I think I like that option. It's not something I would spot immediately because you're sort of blocking from the top of the lane rather than addressing the lane directly. But yeah, if I were Alec, I mean, his lead is maybe big enough to be considering starting to do stuff like that.
Yeah, it's not quite airtight. We can see something like Mastery might still be able to go down, but it does seem pretty tight. I'm not sure exactly what the idea is that blocks everything. We are going to run a simulation here to see if there is one.
Yeah, I'm very
Um,
curious.
I would definitely be thinking of things like ERR. It does seem it blocks the T quite a bit too. It blocks the lane created by Eve, and it seems pretty hard to work with. Computer analysis confirming that ERR or ERN are the best choices for Alec. They score just enough that Dennis will not be able to come back without a bingo. We will see if Dennis has a bingo soon once he flips his tiles over.
Yeah, he's leaving us in suspense here. I want to know what he has.
I believe if Dennis has drawn ARS, if Dennis has drawn something like that, he will have a chance. Because I believe
Yeah, this
more.
is.
Sorry, that's the wrong. Is it? Yeah, I believe there's something on the board if Dennis draws something like ARS. I'm not sure what it is.
Hmm. Does Elmoner's doesn't fit through the N? No, it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alec is going with GRR. I don't love this choice. I think it does leave too many bingos open through that T. I think ERR would have been just enough points to hang on. So I think I would have liked to see something a little bit more defensive. I don't know if Dennis can bingo. I don't think Motley's quite fits. Could be also a way for Dennis to come back by using the triples.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he actually has something through that U again, making ZDs if he spots it. He has a play that scores 47 points.
Yeah, maybe I would have liked to see Alec be a little bit tighter. It seems like he has just enough points to pull it out. In most cases, something like ERR, probably a better choice there.
Yeah, but that's so hard to find. I mean, can't fault Alec too much. I would really, really struggle to
And
see that that's going to be enough.
for those of you in the chat, the reason why I pointed out that Dennis could have won after ERR by drawing ARS is because of the 10-letter word ransomable. With the letters in the bag, Dennis drawing ARS would have been the only way to beat ERR. He would not have been able to draw any sevens. The only sevens that fit were things like mastery that could not have been possible from Dennis's actual real pulls. So ransomable ERR would be with the blank E in Tegule. It would gunk up as much of the board as possible.
Yeah, you don't want to play ERR from Eve because that's just giving an easy spot for Dennis to bingo through.
Yeah. Ultimately, I believe even with the triple, Dennis will not quite be able to come back.
Yeah, but we'll see if he spots Mousy here through that U. That would be really, really nice.
Yeah, he has a couple of nice triples to work with. There is also the one formed by ER. Maybe that's a bit higher priority because Alec can use that one.
True, yeah, that's a much easier one to hit, so maybe you want to take it out. Yeah, I guess what plays does he have there, Matt? What would you be thinking about doing?
Yeah, there's nothing good. It's just something that would be on my mind. I actually don't think he should block it. It just becomes something that's in my head when I'm thinking about these positions.
Mm-hmm. I guess he could play and Moyle, Moyl. That scores 42 and
Yeah,
blocks that little triple.
that is an interesting choice. It scores as well as you can with that triple. Another interesting option is Muse, at least threatening the follow up of Jolty.
Oh, that's very interesting. I like that setup. That's super cool.
Yeah. Ultimately the best way for Dennis to proceed here is looking like Mel forming This is because it leaves a follow-up play of Story, I believe, somewhere.
I guess through the R in Sterning.
Yeah, I think there might. Oh, there might be a different one. But yeah. Oh, it's actually what is it? Stony. It's actually Stony through the N
Oh,
and
yeah.
might be the
I guess you
best
have.
way. Wondering if there's a way to at least threaten something and force Alec to play very accurately. I don't think it's quite close enough to pull off.
Yeah, this would be hard. I guess if he plays Mousy for 47, is there any way that Alec could mess up this endgame and not
Yeah,
win?
I'm not sure. Maybe the only option he has is to hope Alec plays a phony. In that case, I think almost anything wins.
Yeah.
So we will see what Dennis can come up with. Tough spot here. Almost feels like you can score enough not quite going to be there. We see if both players play correctly. The final score will have Alec winning by 23. So Dennis able to make up a lot of the deficit, but not enough of it to win this game.
Mm-hmm. And I guess, yeah, what are Alec's out sequences here?
Well, I don't think Alec will be the one going out. I think Alec is going to play something like Tan on top of non-quota, forming Toho and 8 and Nab. It's going to score 20 points, which is as best as Alec is going to be able to do. That said, if Dennis comes up with Mel, might be a little bit better for Alec to block Yatost and leave Dennis with only Stony.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Yatost.
Yatost would play with the T in Tegule, so that might be another option.
Wow, that's beautiful. Yeah, tripling the Y. I would never think to put the Y there and then extend the word out, but Collins has so many of these wonderful past tense words.
Yes. Y being a kind of an archaic way of forming a past tense in Old English, you would stick a Y in front of what we consider a normal past tense word like tossed, but only some of them have survived into being in the Scrabble dictionary.
Yeah, it's hard to remember which ones, but we'll see if that comes into play.
A lot of words to learn here. Dennis is in the tank. This is definitely a spot where I almost feel like there should be something with maybe 2 40-point plays, especially with the triples open. Unfortunately for him, don't think one actually exists. Going to be in the tank for this one. He's coming up with Moyle. I like the idea. Wonder if he thinks Sternings is a word. I don't think it'll be enough to win, even if it is a word. I think something like tan would outrun it, but that might be on the back of his mind.
Yeah, that's a great point. I didn't even think about that, but when you're in the end game and you know you're going to lose, it might be something to try.
I think he is putting down Moy. Now, I think if Alec just plays tan, then Let's would tie the game. This could be an interesting sequence. Maybe it'll be a little bit sneaky.
Oh yeah, Let's and Sternings.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Alec has to challenge so that'll
Does get a little tricky if it is a tie, though.
True. Yeah, I guess that changes whether you want to, throw 5 points at your opponent, possibly.
For sure. We will see. Yeah, we're going to see Moy. In this case, if Alec plays something like tan on top of non-quota, believe.
Oh. And now he's putting the L down.
Yeah. Maybe it wasn't enough either way. Dennis playing Moyle, not a bad idea. I get why. And yeah, Alec, his highest scoring choice, I believe, is tan on top. We will see if he comes up with that.
Yeah, I think his other options probably use the J to make ya, something like rat or nat.
Yeah, not a bad choice.
I guess, do those plays do it if he doesn't spot tan? I think they're probably enough.
I think it's enough. I think maybe it is better. I think Dennis is thinking about playing sight with shoving. So maybe Alec is better off playing something like tan or ran on top, forming a JA.
That's a good point. Yeah. I didn't even remember that the shoving hook was still there, but yeah, he can score quite a bit going out there with sight.
Yeah, that appears to be Dennis's best attempt at a close game in the end game. It won't quite be enough, but he does preserve spread. Alec is about to be 15-3, I believe. Going to be tough to dislodge him from the top two.
Yeah, he's making a run for it. It's really impressive to see.
For sure. And just to update the people, we see some different results coming in. Samson Okosaga, a 518 to 492 barn burner win over Austin Shin. Nice game, very high scoring. David Whitley with a squeaker, a 2-point win over Winter. And Ben Schonbrun with a 472 to 417 win over Sam Rosen. So some people that are maybe contenders if they can pull together some wins near the end. It's getting wide open. Dennis about to lose will be 12-6. Could get very close.
Yeah, this is super, super tight. A lot of people, yeah, riding in the middle of the pack who could overtake each other, and we're just gonna have to see what happens.
Alec is playing intra. I think he is worried that Sterning takes an S. Not sure if we have the scores correctly here. If we do, I believe this wins by 1 point.
Whew. Oh, but he's taking it back.
I do think that if he thinks Sternings is a word, that tan might be a little bit safer. It does score enough points to win, I believe.
Yeah, and we see EST lined up, so it looks like Dennis is gonna try it.
Yeah. I think he has to try it. I think intra wins by 1 point, even if Sternings is a word.
Wow.
That might be the safest choice. Yeah. So an interesting sequence may have been just Moy. I believe if he plays just Moy, then Alec has to play intra, or else it will be a tie if Sternings is a word. And Alec might be scared to challenge that. Alec is back to Rat. Rat would be to the right of Jimp. This is the actual best play. Not sure if it pulls it out if Sternings is a word. Sternings would be 27. Yeah. RAB is not a word. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Wait. Oh my
Oh my
God.
God. RAB is not a word. Oh my God.
I think Dennis sees it. Oh, wait, but he's
Oh my
counting.
God.
Oh, is he gonna notice?
Oh, Dennis is challenging RAB.
Oh, and it comes right
Oh
off.
my
That's
God. Everything I just said about the standings is wrong. Dennis
Wow,
is the one winning this game.
But we'll see if Dennis tries the phony. Okay.
No, he knows he can
he's
win.
gonna
He's
play
play
sight.
tight. Oh my God. Wow. Crazy
Wow.
finish right before lunch. Dennis pulling this one out with Alec phonying at the end. This is a crazy
Oh my gosh.
one.
Heartbreaking
Wow.
for Alec. Wow. Ugh, I've been there too.
Alec
That's
is
so
in good enough spirits to self-deprecate and put an L on his forehead, referring to himself. It's good to see a little bit of self-deprecating humor.
I think these players are such good sports.
Really. Even if Alec, this is good, I win by 1.
What's that? Let's see. You're leading by 14. So intra is what? Intra is
intra is 13.
13, right?
Yeah.
13 plus 14, 27. How many ties you have left?
I would have this.
Oh, you win by 1.
Yeah.
So if you play 10, you think that will win? No, let's see. 2, 3, 4,
It would
5,
outrun
6, 7, 8,
that
9,
even if
10,
it's
11,
good.
12, 24, 25, 26, 27. If this 10 is good, you've lost. Oh, you blocked it with intra. Yeah.
Yeah.
Check 10.
I'm going to check it now. Stern.
Yeah.
It doesn't take.
Wow.
Ah,
Okay.
Wow.
So yeah, just play 10.
10 is how
But
many?
like, or
4, 5,
play
6,
no, just
10,
play
11,
rat.
12, 13,
Just play
14,
rat. Yeah.
15, 16, 20. 20 plus. You won.
I blew a 1 game.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
No, I blew a 1 game. I was very stupid. I played this.
So you have me 434?
4-3-4 to 4-12.
Yep. You won? Who did you play? Unknown name. Oh, Jason Keller. That's a tough match.
Yeah. Like if I'm not sure of this, I'm just supposed to play tan or intra and win by 1. I played R.
I didn't
Put
even
the
see
R
it.
there.
It was when I was counting, I saw it. I didn't see it. I was going to play. I didn't see this, but I saw this. I said I'm going to play this.
You could have played anything and you won.
No, I have. It has to be like specifically intra, or if I play rat and he tries this, I have to challenge it off.
Are you sure you're
Or
going
I
to
play tan here.
You're not going to challenge it because you still have 1.
I think any of those 3 could win, although I'm not so sure about tan because I don't go out afterward.
Man, you're making things interesting now.
I was very stupid and played that phony 3
Oh, I'm sorry.
when I should have played this valid 3
gave me the
or just intra here.
Fail
Rat
fail
here.
for it.
No, you
Yeah.
I'm
blocked,
sorry,
you
man.
blocked
That
me.
sucks.
Yeah, I blocked Motley's.
Yeah.
That
That's the
sucks.
pressure.
Oh.
Gets you.
I'm kind of like
It was time pressure.
raging now.
Time pressure.
I think time pressure isn't the problem actually, because like I'd seen all these possibilities. I just
Yeah, that being a tough situation, maybe don't want to focus on it too much. Alex still in first place, though, something to be proud of. Dennis is in second place with that win. We're going to go to lunch. We're going to have an afternoon session with Elise, and Charles Reinke will be replacing me as the anchor.
Yeah, I'm excited to come back for some more. This was a really incredible game, really well played by both players and just shows the complexity of Scrabble. I mean, Alec had to calculate all these different options, had to consider whether this ing word took an S, and that added another level of uncertainty. So, we can't really fault him, and he's still doing great in this tournament. So I'm excited to see how things continue to develop.
Yeah, so we're going to take a lunch break.